r/AskReddit. What very realistic event could happen to make 2020 even worse? A Great Depression. This season of Earth is entirely too unrealistic. What have the writers been thinking? Someone deciding now is a good time to go to war when defenses are down. Edit. And my inbox got defeated. This is border violation. Looks at US and Iran. State-sponsored hackers attacking the medical industry. Yep, that would turn this shit up to 11. Any disasters during this pandemic? Imagine if this is still spreading rapidly in April with mass quarantines and a tornado outbreak on the likes of 2011 super outbreak hits. Injured normally have medical to go to, but if it's all filled up by sick patients, well, let's just hope it doesn't come to that. Everyone in the States, count yourselves lucky that this outbreak didn't hit in July-September and hope it gets cleared before then. Imagine if this was widespread during a Category 5 hurricane impact, when they normally tell an entire region to scram to other parts of the country. Natural. Yellowstone erupts man-made. Some moron decides a war is a good way to kickstart the economy after the corona disaster. Yellowstone is due to blow, but in geological time, it's sometime in the next 100,000 years or so. If Yellowstone erupted, you might as well grab a good bottle of your choice and kick back. Woody Harrelson style. The PAC-NW experiences a 9.0 Cascadia subduction zone earthquake. I finally got approved to work from home. It better not. Unexpected solar flare completely shuts down all electronics and internet for a long period. Would be horrible for the quarantined. I'm in there. Yeah, that would be pretty bad if all electronics and the internet shut down. Think about what you currently have in your possession to offer as trade, assuming that roving gangs don't just forcibly take it from you first. Alright, this thread is worsening my anxiety. Same, but I can't look away. Giant forest fires evacuating large parts of California during the escalating coronavirus outbreak. Pretty ironic that last October I was told that I had to leave my house and now being told to stay home. Economy collapsing beyond repair everywhere. California just got put on lockdown, and if it was its own country it would be the 5th largest economy in the world. This isn't going to just bounce back. Another hurricane. While everyone's in quarantine, an infectious disease hurricane would not be fun. Yes, everyone must evacuate and move to shelters inland. At that point it's almost like you have to quarantine the healthy and high risk people and let everyone else just get it. Cats 2. Too far, man. Too far. Another natural disaster, an insect plague, another war, another disease, etc. At this point it's amazing that we're still here and not in a grave somewhere given the circumstances of the year so far. Isn't an insect plague already happening in Africa right now? If an enormous solar flare from the sun strikes Earth, it could take out our electrical grid, internet, and almost all electronic devices. A solar flare struck in 1859 that would have caused $10 trillion worth of damages today. Imagine getting reset to the 1840s. Also crazy that practically no one knows about the imminent risk of a coronal mass event. Dogs with bees in their mouth, and when they bark they shoot bees at you. That's far worse than anything that could happen. Let's not give 2020 any more bright ideas, please. It's only the 3rd month and it already feels like a decade has passed. China finally pulls the trigger on Taiwan or Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a possibility. Taiwan isn't, considering we the United States have warships there. Edit. Fixed it for the smartasses. A coronal mass ejection. There was a huge one in 1859 called the Carrington event. It destroyed telegraph lines. You're probably thinking, oh, those are rare, that'll never happen again. In 2012 a similar sized flare missed the Earth by 9 days. If one did occur we'd only have 17 hours from release to try and minimize damage, and less time if there was a previous smaller CME before a big one which pushed most of the solar wind out of the way. There are more than 3,000 satellites in orbit at the minute. We would lose almost every single one. And the ones that don't decay in their orbits and burn up in the atmosphere might crash into each other, creating a ring of space junk around the Earth, trapping us in for the foreseeable future. You don't want to know how bad it could be on Earth. Nickelback release a double album. PS. Thanks bro. Random chimp event. Planet of the Apes. This virus doesn't just clear up on its own. The vaccine takes longer than estimated to develop, but it's not a cure for those that already have it anyway, and then the virus mutates. International borders are closed. The military begins patrolling to make sure people are not sneaking in. Whole towns and cities are now closing to outsiders. People begin to stop trusting their neighbors or people they don't know. Governments stop behaving democratically and urge the population to report their own family, friends and neighbors to the authorities if they look sick. Nobody has a job. Money doesn't matter because it has no use. Violence is a feature of life. The government has gone to ground, and then reports that the military has started shooting civilians as the borders begin to circulate. Internet shutdown. Like other people said, a mass coronal ejection or something. And much overdue seismic big one hitting my state of California. The last catastrophic quake, as told by several tribes lore, was in the 1700s and created Humboldt Bay. The coronavirus could mutate to become deadlier, or we could just realize it is deadlier or has long-term effects we didn't know about. Or a rushed vaccine produces rage zombies and we are actually in the precursor to every zombie apocalypse movie ever made. Hurricane season is coming up. Can we at least get through half of 2020 before trying to outdo it? No. We're speedrunning the end of the world this year. North Korea successfully launching a nuclear warhead that lands either in South Korea or Japan, or then sparking an international incident, or Russia invading the Baltic states. Well, if NK nukes someone, they are on their own. China has voted against them in the UN in the past, and if China does anything to show support with NK, they would effectively be isolating themselves. Nuclear exchange between India and Pakistan. An alien invasion. I'd almost welcome it at this point. I found a snake under a blanket in the bedroom. It's already happening, people. Could be worse. Could have been in your boat. 8-legged freaks. General Kenobi. War. War is always worse. WW3 starts. As some with a ton of anxiety during this time, I shouldn't have read this thread. It was nice knowing y'all. NASA is lying and that asteroid is really gonna hit Earth? Then again, maybe that wouldn't be so bad after all. The Cascadia subduction zone shifts and a major earthquake wipes out a large chunk of the Pacific Northwest. The secondary effects on society of the COVID-19 continues to increase exponentially. A lot of the strands of the fabric of society that we take for granted could start unraveling. We are in a very precarious situation. An attack on the power grid that disables it for several weeks. It would make the panic over the coronavirus look like a cakewalk by comparison. I'm surprised I haven't seen Asteroid. An unusually large coronal mass ejection from the sun knocks out electrical systems and telecommunications worldwide, resulting in an indefinite global blackout and complete radio silence. Still no toilet paper. Either IBM's Watson or Google's quantum computer becomes self-aware. Humanity fails the vibe check. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.